Hey, my name's Kirk Demorest. Thank you so much for coming to my channel. It's my second episode, so I appreciate you coming here. And I'm a filmmaker, an editor, and also a co-director and founder of the Healdsburg International Short Film Festival in Northern California. And you can see my whole bio in my first video, which will be in the description. But I'm really glad you're back because I want to give filmmakers, as a filmmaker myself, the chance to understand kind of like what goes on behind the scenes in a film festival. How does it work? How are the films selected? What are the secrets to getting into the festival? And I have a lot of experience. We watch so many films, and just right away you can tell if the film's worthy or not for so many reasons. And I'll get into those throughout the course of the series. Some of it's technical, some of it's content-wise, just all these different things. Some of the stuff that I tell you is kind of like after the fact, meaning that you already shot your film. So perhaps it won't be pertinent to you, but it'll help you on your next film. And also, some people go back to the cutting room and redo their film or get new shots or whatever it takes. You would be surprised how a film that was maybe 11 minutes is cut down to 7 minutes and it just kicks butt, all right? Don't get discouraged if you think that your film's already shot and this won't help you, because a lot of the tips that I give you will help you regardless. So today we're going to talk about 2 secrets to help you get your film into film festivals. And the first secret is about your presentation with your poster and your artwork. And the other one that I get all the time, this question, is how long should your film be? All right. Now, we're a short film festival. We only have 20 minutes or less. And we have films that are 30 seconds long, really, all the way up to 20 minutes and 1 second. We let it fudge a little bit as long as it doesn't cross the 21 mark. But first I want to talk about the presentation to the film festival. So when you put your film into Film Freeway, which is pretty much the only portal for film festivals to find films, other than if they do scouting or other ways like that, you just want to make sure that you put in all the details of all the fields. So we've had films that don't even have a description of the film. We've had films that don't have any kind of info about the director. And all those things actually add up for us because, 1, it shows if you care about the film enough to really even bother with it. And 2, it gives us literal good information that we can use to sort of figure out if it's the tone and where it should be in our festival, if at all, that kind of thing. So it's really important. And also, the photos that you put there for us are really important because we use them in all kinds of ways. We use them for marketing. We use them on our website. We use them for the film program that's printed that we hand out in the audiences. There's just so many reasons. And when you don't put that in there, it's frustrating because the film may be good or decent, but then what we have to do is go through the film and pull screen grabs ourselves. And it's a hassle. So let's say you have 2 films and they're really good films, and you only have room for 1 film in your festival because it's all booked out. You're going to say, well, which film is the least amount of work, provided the films are the same, emotional caliber? You're going to say, which one is the least amount of work or hassle, or which one do the filmmakers care about most? Which one is maybe possibly going to show up at our festival and experience it on the big screen, those kind of things. Just be aware that what you give us really matters, and make sure they're formatted properly, because sometimes people will give us a 16:9 image, screen grab basically of their film, and it includes the black bars on it. You don't want to do that because that's not really part of the image. What you want to do is give us the actual image without the black on it, all right? Because that's not part of the presentation. In a proper movie screen, they would, crop the screen with the curtains to the right size and all that. So same here. On a website, you don't want to see the black bars and all that. So just give us the right image within the 16:9. So if it's 16:9, maybe it's going to be like 16:7 or something like that, right? So just make sure that you give us a nice, good, solid image and in good resolution. Don't do a low-res screen grab off of your Film Freeway submission or off of Vimeo or something like that, all right? Just give us a real nice quality one. The best you have, actually. 4K is better. Even bigger is even better. Because sometimes we'll zoom in or crop or whatever or put type over it to promote the festival and your film. Okay, and also the film poster is super important. The poster is, I call it like the tone of your movie. That's the first glance that we see before we really even read anything. When they say a picture is worth 1,000 words, it's actually true. One picture can tell you so much about a film, about the tone. And maybe it can't. It could be the case of, you can't judge a book by its cover, and that's possible too, but it's a place to start with tone for us. We're not the type of festival that does horror films. It's just not our genre that we do. And I can explain in future episodes why we don't do those, but basically it's about the marketing of it all. But so if someone sends us a poster that's a slasher film, and you can clearly see there's, blood and guts and whatever else, it's not our cup of tea. We'll watch the film if it's submitted in the proper genre. And if we accept that genre, we'll watch the film, of course, all the frames of it. But it's an uphill battle at that point because we're already seeing the tone doesn't match what we're going for. So you want to have a good poster that represents the true spirit of your actual film. Don't try to trick us by putting a poster that looks better or cooler or has a different story or ambiance or something than your actual film. The poster should represent the film, should be part of the film. So that being said, remember back at the beginning where I said there's certain things that may not apply here because your film's already done? Well, what I'm about to say is one of them, but you can do it on your next one. Or if you're just about to shoot your film, then think of this, all right? When you're on the set, I know it's crazy. You're busy, you're running around, you got, gaffing, you're trying to solve problems with the lunch being late. You've got an actor really upset because he dropped his phone and it's busted. Whatever things are happening, it's all going on, right? But whatever's happening on the set, it's so good to schedule time, 5 minutes or even up to 15 minutes. Put it in the schedule to shoot the poster and the marketing material for your film. I started doing this a while back and it really, really helped me with my marketing, getting stuff out to the actors. A lot of the actors are just waiting for anything from their scenes to be edited or whatever. You can give them these promotional stills and it kind of gives them peace of mind, The other thing about shooting stills while you're on the set that's so cool is that the actors are in their costumes, in the scene, in the environment. Everything's there. You don't have to do AI. You don't have to concoct something with stock photos. It's the real actors. They're in character. And it's been super valuable to me to have these photos on all my films, all my little short films. A lot of times it's a hassle. You're like, okay, we're back from lunch. Hold it, everyone. We're taking 15 minutes to do these promotional marketing stills. I mean, the big studios do it for sure. They plan whole days for it and stuff like that. But on a little film, you really have to take the time and carve it out because you're racing. I know how important the time is. You're racing. Every second matters. But this matters a lot. So pull the actors aside, get the photographer. And if you don't have a photographer, hopefully you have someone with a really good eye who can use their phone to take great pictures. And you would want to think about that in advance and plan it. Like, hey, I know you have a great eye. So at 12:15, can you go ahead and shoot some stills with us? And that'll be really valuable to you. Sometimes you can do this without it being exactly planned. So for example, I was shooting at the Golden Gate Bridge, this short film that I made called Go Fly a Kite. And the lighting and the scene and everything was absolutely perfect, but we weren't scheduled to do the stills until the next day. So I just said, hold it, stop everything. I'm shooting these stills. So I pulled out my little Canon camera and shot these stills in maybe 10 minutes at the most, maybe 5 or 10 minutes. And they became super valuable in the marketing of my film. It's been actually really helpful. Again, you can create all the poster elements with AI or with stock photos or whatever after the fact, but at least this gives you options. And it's really organic too. So I like that method. All right, everyone. Now it's time for my next big tip. How long should your film be to be accepted into film festivals? This may totally surprise you, but honestly, there's two answers to this. And I'm not being funny, it's real. There's two answers. The first answer is, if you want to get into a film festival, you just want to get into the film festival, you want to make your film as short as the festival guidelines allow. So if the festival allows for 5 minutes, make a 5-minute film. If it allows for 30 seconds, make a 30-second film. All right. I know this sounds super crazy and a lot of festival directors will never support this concept. I'm just different. This is my own feeling about it. And I'm also a filmmaker. Here's the deal. If you make a really short film, 30 seconds, a minute, 5 minutes, or whatever they allow, you're getting all the perks and benefits of the film festival that someone worked hard and put a huge budget into and everything to make a 20-minute film in our case, because we only allow 20 minutes. So you got a 30-second film, you got a 20-minute film. One costs minor amounts of money. The other one costs probably tons of money and hassle and stress, right? But guess what? The short filmmaker gets all the same benefits. They get to go to the film festival. They get to have a screening in a proper screening facility for their cast and crew for free, basically. They get to go to the parties. They get to network with filmmakers. They get written up in the paper, in all the marketing of the film festival. They're in the program of the festival. When you look at a film festival program, whether it's online or in print, you see a list of films and their pictures. You don't get the impact that one film was 20 minutes and one was 30 seconds, although you can read that. But at first impression, it's on equal footing as all the other ones. So if you want to get into the film festival, make it as short as possible that works. It has to obviously work. And here's the thing, festival programmers are way more likely to have a spot for your film, even if it's like so-so, but maybe there's some really funny thing about it or some really clever gag or cool visual or whatever. It's easier to plop a 30-second or a 5-minute movie into a long run of short films than it is to put another 20-minute film in there. And the whole thing is, the 20-minute film has to work for 20 minutes. It has to be engaging, it has to be compelling, has to be interesting, visual, whatever, great acting. But in a 30-second film, a 5-minute film, it only has to work for 5 minutes, basically. So you have a better shot of getting in the festival. It's easier to program. The production value can be way higher. The hassles are less. You can easily send files, all that. So I recommend doing the shortest film you can if your goal is to get into festivals. And you may not win the grand prize of the festival. In fact, you probably won't. But guess what you can win? Best Actress, Funniest Comedy, whatever, some kind of weird offbeat, Best Cinematography. You could win so many awards that aren't the main one. So when they see the laurels on your poster at the next festival or the next, marketing thing or sales thing you're going to with your film, they just see laurels. It's like, oh, look at this film won a lot of awards. So that's also the benefit of having a short film. Now, the other answer that I was going to give you about your film, if you want to win the film festival, is, does it have to be 20 minutes? No. Does it have to be 5 minutes? No. Does it have to be 18 minutes? No. It has to be the amount of time that keeps working, that keeps you engaged, that just doesn't have any fat, that feels exciting, that feels alive, that feels emotional. So I can't tell you what that length is. I can just tell you that you need a certain amount of meat on the bones to win the big prize at a festival. It's hard to really develop a character, a story arc, or all that in under 5 minutes. People do it, and it can be amazing. It can be tender and sweet and touching, scary, whatever it is. It can work. But basically, if you have a little more meat on the bones, like somewhere upwards of 10 minutes, you're going to have a better chance of really being able to build out those characters, build out the world, build out the arc. So that's just a consideration. And your story is obviously the key. The editing, the timing, the pacing, all that is super important. The story is everything. So however long it is, that's how long it is. Don't try to manufacture a certain time for your film. Only make your film as long as it works. Don't try to make it like, oh, I have to pad this film to get to this time or cut this film to get to that time. No, it just has to work. It has to work the whole time. And then you can win the festival. And even with the cutoff time of, in our case, 20 minutes, I would avoid festivals that don't have the length of your film. So we cut off at 20 minutes. If your film works better at 30 minutes, we're not the festival for you. Don't submit to festivals that don't accept that time. So that's it. Basically 2 answers. If you want to get in the festival for all the good reasons, you make a short film. If you want to win the festival, you make one with some meat on the bones. All right? Anyway, I'm so grateful to you that you came and stayed till the end. This is kind of fun for me because I'm normally editing or shooting and I'm not usually in front of the camera. So it's a little funny for me, but this is cool. And I'm so glad you stuck around. Our film festival is Healdsburgfilm.com. I hope you get your film into a festival and that it's really celebrated and exciting for you. And I'm just glad that people like you are out there creating cinema and independent film because we really need it in the world. It's just such a great format. And I wish you all the luck. I'll see you next time. Kirk out.